Last week, I had the opportunity to work on a very sentimental project for a new client. I received this slip that had been made, as well as the muslin mock-up of the dress that she wanted me to complete. This was intended to be her daughter's prom dress in 2008, but unfortunately her friend, who was a very talented seamstress who had offered to make the dress, her illness progressed before she could complete the dress in time. So the client wanted me to finish it off as a way to honor her late friend and to surprise her daughter with the finally completed dress. The slip was beautifully made, fully lined throughout the bodice with an invisible zipper and a very narrow rolled hem. I began by laying out the beautiful scalloped edged lace, laying out my pattern pieces, pinning them down, and cutting them out. And this is all of the cutout pattern pieces. Since traditional marking tools wouldn't work on this lace, I flagged all of the relevant points with a colored piece of thread. After stitching each seam, I removed all of the colored thread flags that helped me align it, and gave it a good press with my iron and tailor's clapper. Once I completed the front and back bodice pieces, it was time to join them. The pattern called for double seams. For stitching on delicate materials like this lace, I like to use tissue paper as an extra layer. It keeps my machine from bunching the fabric and helps maintain even tension. And it tears off easily when finished. The trickiest part of this pattern is that all of the edges of the dress are finished with the scallop edge of the lace. This first had to be cut away from the original lace. Then it had to be applied to the raw edges of the fabric. Here it is all pinned out. Then it had to be stitched on by hand as invisibly as possible. I used a combination of running and backstitch in a corresponding all-purpose thread color. Once it was all stitched on, then the excess lace of the raw edge had to be cut away so that the scalloped edge looked like the original edge. This is what it looks like with one side finished. After finishing all of the bodice edges, I installed the corresponding zipper and set about assembling the skirt. With the skirt assembled using double seams and the front edges of the skirt finished with the scallop edging, that's when I started to apply it to the bodice. Here it is all pinned out, and then I set about stitching the bodice and skirt together using the double seam. Once combined, I set about the long task of adding the scalloped edging to the entire skirt, pinned it out, stitched it down, and cut away the excess. A beautiful, seamless finish. And here's the finished dress. The client was delighted, and I'm so glad I got to work on such a special project.